Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Bob Power, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you joined us for our next live presentation from AbraSilver Resource Corporation. Please note, you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome John Miniotis, President and CEO of AbraSilver Resource Corporation, which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol ABBRF and on the TSXV under the symbol ABRA. Welcome, John.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Bob, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for attending this event. Really looking forward to walking you through the AbraSilver story. We really have quite a unique project here with lots of upcoming catalysts. So it's certainly quite an exciting time for our company. Of course, please note there'll be some forward-looking statements made as part of the presentation here. So who is AbraSilver? We're a high-growth silver and gold explorer, and we're rapidly advancing our marquee project, which is called Diablilos. The project is located in the mining-friendly Salta province of Argentina, and it's quite an advanced stage exploration asset. So as you can see on that first bullet, currently we have measured and indicated resource that's been announced on just one deposit on this project. And that first deposit has about 110 million ounces of silver, 1.3 million ounces of gold. And again, that's all in the measured and indicated category. So we're not including any inferred resources here. And so, that main deposit is nice. It's sizable, very close to surface, and importantly, located in oxides. So cheap to mine, cheap to process, and an excellent deposit there. But what's really transformed our story over the last 12 months is that we've made a second discovery on this same property. So this is now called the second deposit is called the high-grade JAC zone, the JAC zone. And this, we've had several spectacular intercepts. You can see on the screen there. I mean, we've encountered, hundreds of grams of silver here. In some cases, a couple thousand grams silver intercepts here over very, very good thicknesses. And once again, this JAC deposit is also located close to surface in oxides, so easy to mine and quite simple metallurgy here. So we feel this JAC deposit has really been a game changer for us, that the market is not properly ascribing value to at this stage. And so, we're going to continue to move this project forward. And so we have several catalysts on the horizon. So later this month in October, we expect to announce an initial resource estimate on this new JAC discovery. And so that's going to be on top of the 110 million ounces of silver, 1.3 million ounces of gold that we have out of Ulto. We'll now be announcing an updated resource that now will incorporate both deposits here. And then by early next year in January, we'll be announcing a pre-feasibility study, which will incorporate the economics of this entire project, consisting of two pits at this time. Now, as we look forward beyond the pre-feas, what's really exciting is we have several other untested targets that we believe could also prove to be very high grade, close to surface. And so this is where we expect to be focusing next year in 2024, is drilling out some of these high grade exploration targets here that we have on this property. So this property is a large land package. It's about 8,000 hectares or about 80 square kilometers in size. So a sizable property there. And we'll be properly evaluating that next year. Thankfully, I mean, in these challenging markets, it's really important to have a strong balance sheet. And thankfully, we're in a very, very good position there. We have about $11 million Canadian in the bank as of quarter end. So fully funded for this year and well into 2024. And as you can see on the next slide here, we have some very important shareholders as well. So Eric Sprott, a well-known Canadian billionaire, is invested heavily in us. So he owns about a 12% equity stake in the company. He purchased his stake back in 2020, actually very close to the similar price as we're trading today. And so, at the moment, the company's market capitalization is about $160 million Canadian. And we've conducted a PEA, a preliminary economic assessment, a couple years ago, back in 2021, that showed the project at that stage, with just a one deposit, had about a $500 million Canadian net present value. It had a 30% after-tax rate of return. We expect those numbers will improve when we announce the pre-feasibility study coming out in a couple months' time. So really, we have a number of catalysts on the horizon here for us, looking to help re-rate the company as we look forward. So announcing that updated mineral resource estimate in a couple weeks' time is certainly going to be a major catalyst for us. Announcing the pre-feasibility study in January. We have some more optimization work that's being concluded ahead of that. And then next year, continuing the exploration success that we've been able to enjoy over the past several years now. Quick history of the company. So myself and the current management team, we took over running this company back in January of 2020. At that time, it was about a $10 million market cap. We merged two companies together. We were running another company called Aethon Minerals. We spent about 2 years almost evaluating a number of different acquisition opportunities. We came across this project, spent 6 months really evaluating this project in a lot of detail. Really liked what we saw. So we merged the two companies together, started drilling some of these areas that we thought were untested, and immediately had some phenomenal success. And so right out of the gate, we went from a $10 million market cap to middle of 2021. I think our peak market cap actually intraday was over 300 million Canadian. So it shows you the torque that we offer in a rising silver price environment as you're coming out with high grade discoveries. Significant upside there. Of course, since then, over the last 2 years now, for anyone who's been invested in the mining space, it's been a challenging time for a number of companies, a number of juniors, especially. Since that market peak, we've come down in value to where we're trading today. But yeah, since then, this project has truly come a long way. I'll show you some of the exploration success we've had, which is clearly not being reflected at this time in our market price. So I truly believe, as the market eventually turns, which it will. It's a cyclical industry, but as we catch the next up cycle here, companies that have made remarkable progress, I think, will be the first to be rewarded, in my opinion. And so I expect, again, we would likely be, a very strong performer and when the market turns here. Looking at where our project is located, so we're in the mining-friendly Salta province of Argentina. And so in purple here, you can see where our project's located. Now, these green dots all around us, these are projects actively under construction. So these are being built as we speak. There's billions of dollars, billions with a B, being spent within a 30-kilometer radius of us. So we're clear net beneficiaries of all the infrastructure that's going in here. There's a natural gas pipeline already in place. There's a second natural gas pipeline being built. The roads have been upgraded. There's a new solar farm that was built to the north here. And so clearly being right in the middle of a host of mining projects is the ideal scenario. And so we believe strongly that our Diablilos project will be the next to enter production. And we're about 2 years away from making a production decision, I would say. So this is an advanced stage project, clearly going to benefit from being located in Salta, which is booming with mining activity, not only in lithium, but also importantly for silver, gold, copper as well. If you look at who else is in the area, you see Barrick, Anglo Gold, First Quantum, Fortuna, built a gold mine a couple years ago, just to the west of us there. That's the Lindero gold mine, which they've been operating nicely. So this is certainly a part of Argentina where mining's booming, and we expect we'll continue to do so. This is what our project looks like. So the main deposit sits just underneath this hill here. This is the Ulto Deposit where we have that resource. And so if you look at sort of a 3D graphic here and try to visualize the mineralization, this is what it looks like. And this is drawn to scale with the CN Tower in Toronto, which is almost 500 meters high. So it gives you the sense of the scale of mineralization we have here. Now, typically for silver, a lot of silver mines are, firstly, a lot of silver production comes in the form of byproduct credits. So typically, you'll either have a big lead zinc mine with, with some byproduct credits of silver, or if it's a primary silver mine, it's typically deep, it's underground, and typically narrow veins. And so much, much harder, much more expensive to mine and also to process. Here, how we benefit is this is close to surface. This is open pittable, and it's in oxides. So it's cyanide leachable, quite straightforward in terms of metallurgy, and I'll talk about that in a moment here. So a lot of benefits here that make this, gives it the size and quality that truly make it stand out. Now, as we look at that Ulto deposit, again, when I took over running the company, myself and the current team in 2020, there was a resource estimate on this, which was calculated 2018. And then in 2021, 2022, we spent 2 years drilling this for a total cost of less than $10 million US. And so with that investment, we added 75 million ounces of silver equivalent in the ground. You can see how we significantly expanded the resource here at that main deposit. So essentially doubling the amount of gold almost, going from 730,000 ounces to 1.3 million ounces of gold. And then a significant increase on the silver side as well, going from 80 million ounces of silver to about 110 million ounces. And now again, that's only the one deposit. As we look forward, before we go on to the new discovery, just showing you in terms of some of the intercepts that we've encountered here. So if you look at all the highest grade intercepts in the world, this is not just in Argentina or not just juniors, this is for any mining company with a primary silver asset. These are the highest grade intercepts in the world over the last almost 3 years now. You can see on a grade thickness basis, these are the top 12 best intercepts. We have 6 of the top 12. And so our team has truly had world-class exploration success, and we've managed to do that importantly on a very conservative budget. So it's not like we have 10 drills turning here. I mean, we have 2 drills turning, a rather modest size campaign where we spent, again, $10 million over 2 years. So for a company of our size, I think we've been extremely, extremely efficient in spending our money wisely and clearly adding a significant amount of value through that drill campaign. And again, this is at that main Ulto deposit. And so again, you can see Ulto. Now, what's really been transformational for us is that for the first time ever, we now have a second deposit that we've uncovered at this project. And we believe there could be a number of other discoveries on the horizon for us here. So last year, we ran a geophysical survey on the broader land package. We saw a sort of an anomalous target to the southwest of that main Ulto deposit. This was an area that had never before seen any drilling. So this was an area that was always assumed just to be barren. It's in a flat sort of valley, which is ideal for mining. And so we drilled one single hole there last year. That hole encountered almost 90 meters of 300, almost 50 grams of silver from surface. And so that's, exceptional grades here. And so we immediately, of course, followed that up. Fast forward to today, we've drilled now 115 holes into this new Jack zone over the last 12 months. And you can see some of the high-grade intercepts that we've encountered. again, at Jack, hundreds of grams, if not thousands of grams of silver here over, tens of meters thicknesses. And so this is extremely, extremely economic. So this is high margins because it's close to surface, it's open pittable. The cutoff grade here is 35 grams per ton. So meaning anything above 35 grams is economic. That makes it into the mine plan. Anything below that would be either treated as waste or put on a long-term stockpile that you could recover at higher commodity prices down the road. But typically in the mining space, again, if you have a cutoff grade of 35 grams per ton, I'd say if you have grades of 70 grams silver equivalent, that'd be considered a good size or good margin project. I mean, it's quite uncommon to have a cutoff grade of 35 grams per ton and then be regularly encountering sort of hundreds of grams per ton here. So this, I think we've certainly found a significant, sizable deposit here in this new Jack zone. And what's important is that it's even closer to surface than Oculto. So here, as you can see, this is the topography. The mineralization is located flat. It's starts about 50 or 60 meters below surface. And this is a sizable new discovery. So we're talking about dimensions about 800 meters along strike, up to about 150 meters wide, and going down to a depth of about 200 meters. And now, importantly, I mean, we've only really drilled all these holes at about 200 meters. So the holes, a lot of them, ended in high-grade mineralization. But as you get down to a depth of about 200 meters, you then start hitting sulfide mineralization, which is great, but would require a different processing technique. And so at this stage, we figured, look, it's not the most efficient use of our dollars to be drilling into these deep sulfides if in the pre-feasibility study, we're not going to assume we'll be able to recover those. And so we've left the deeper targets for a later stage as we focus on the lowest hanging fruit here, which is the near surface oxide mineralization. Typically, grades increase as you go deeper down. And so we expect at a later stage, as we drill into the sulfides here, there's a lot more copper, but you can also see some much higher grade gold intercepts as well here, which remain untested. Now, why is it important that we focus on the oxides is because we've done a significant amount of metallurgical test work, and it's quite straightforward in terms of recovering, especially at this Jack deposit. So the PEA study that we announced almost 2 years ago now assumed 86% average gold recoveries and only 73.5% for silver. Now we're just finalizing some optimization test work on that, looking to increase the silver recoveries at that main deposit. And so we expect to be issuing an announcement on that once that work is concluded shortly. But we've done some metallurgical test work on this new Jack zone. Gold recoveries, again, are about 86% on average, but silver recoveries, you can see here, averaging about 90%. So that's a material improvement. And so when we announced the resource at Jack, and especially as we announced the pre-feasibility study, I think there's a significant amount of upside here. As Jack has proven to be higher grade than Oculto, you get higher recoveries, it's closer to surface. And so you can realistically start mining Jack first, which would allow you to get a very rapid payback here. And then you have the much larger Ulto deposit there, which already had a 16-year mine life. And you'd be processing that later on in the mine plan. So we really feel Jack has transformed this project, which already had very good margins to begin with. But certainly now it's exceptional margins as we look to announce the upcoming resource estimate on Jack and as I mentioned, the pre-feas. Now, in the meantime, I mentioned the way we discovered Jack is we did some geophysics on this land package last year. We saw this big purple anomaly here in an area, again, that had never been drilled. So there's no outcropping mineralization here. I mean, from surface, it's just flat. you would never really assume there's mineralization sitting here. But with the geophysics here, with these magnetic low anomalies, we were able to identify Jack, which was clearly the biggest anomaly. But there's a number of other anomalies as well that, again, remain largely untested here. So just a parallel zone just to the north of Jack. We drilled that, only a couple holes. I think we've drilled so far 4 holes in total. 2 of those hit remarkable intercepts. Again, 12 meters of 1,000 grams of silver, 62 meters of 130 grams of silver. And so, looking very, very promising there. We expect to be following up with additional drilling there next year. Phantasma is a bigger target to the north here. This has had some historical drilling back in 2017. This encountered, hundreds of grams of silver. This was under the prior management team, but then they ran out of money and stopped drilling. And so we expect next year, again, to be following up some of those historical intercepts there and looking to delineate now a number of potential pits on this property, which could all feed a central plant. And assuming, again, these are higher grade, you would start off by mining off these smaller high grade pits, bringing that into the economics of the mine plan, getting very, very rapid payback and high rates of return. And then you have this large Ulto deposit, which is in and of itself very good grades, high margin. But then you have sort of a 16-year mine plan there with 50 million tons waiting to feed the plant. So when you look at our project and you compare it to a number of, now these are not junior companies here, I'm showing silver mid-tier producers. So here we're sitting as a junior sort of explorer, $160 million market cap. We already have 216 million ounces silver equivalent in the ground. As you tack on Jack, we expect that could add, a significant number of additional ounces. So we certainly expect to be north of 250 million ounces here after we include the Jack zone. But if you look at some of the mid-tier producers out there, First Majestic, Endeavor, Fortuna, Hawkchilds, etc., you can see, projects of this size, of this scale, and especially of this quality are very, very unique in the silver space. And so we certainly see this project as being very, very attractive to a number of parties. Now, quickly, we also have a secondary project. I won't spend too much time on this one, just given the time restrictions we have here. But this is in another part of Argentina. This is in the San Juan province, in one of the most prospective copper belts in the world at this stage. So to the north in San Juan, you have Filo del Sol, which has made a remarkable copper discovery over the last several years. And to the south of us, you have McEwen Mining, which their major Los Azules project. And so you have a number of billion-ton plus sort of copper projects in this belt. We have a huge land package here, and we expect that this could be a large-scale, low-grade porphyry. We've done very limited drilling to date. Really 3 holes here that we've drilled over the last couple of years. We've hit good copper mineralization over, again, very, very extensive thicknesses. So 700 meters of about 0.2% copper mineralization and 226 meters of about 0.4% copper mineralization. So it seems that this project is really ideal to bringing in a partner, and we're in discussions with a number of parties at the moment looking to potentially bring in as a partner to help us explore that La Cuepita asset. So with that, just a quick summary slide here. Look, I think we've made a tremendous amount of progress here over the last couple of years. Our exploration team has absolutely, without question, achieved sort of world-class success here. We've grown that Ulto deposit significantly. Now, that new discovery is not being priced into our share price at the moment, just given current market conditions. And so I feel, look, as the market eventually turns and we announce the resource estimate there shortly, that's going to be in a few weeks' time. We announce we're going to be submitting the permits here. We announce a pre-feasibility study. I mean, there's a number of very, very significant milestones here coming up over the next couple months. And as those are announced, I fully expect AbraSilver will again be one of the industry leaders in terms of share price performance, in the sector. So with that, thank you very much, everyone. I think we have a couple minutes here for questions. So yeah, happy to read out these questions. Just a quick reminder, if you have any questions, just type them into that chat box there. The first question I see is, what attracted Eric Sprott to your projects? So Eric Sprott's a major investor of ours. I think it was the size, the quality of this project for sure. The fact that it's a primary silver project really, really attracted him with gold byproduct credits. And so Eric, as many of you I'm sure know, is very, very bullish on silver, especially longer term. And so he's invested actually in a number of junior mining explorers out there. I think this is, again, when you go back to that slide where I showed you sort of the scale. Let me just see if I can bring that slide back up here. Yeah, so when you see a project of this size, this quality, with the exploration success, has a tremendous amount of upside, especially as you factor in higher silver prices down the road. So I think that was certainly, one of the main attractions here. In terms of the next question, I'll just read it out here. How supportive is Argentina government to mining industry, and how many that change with the upcoming elections? Yeah, so importantly, the provinces control the mineral rights in Argentina. And so the presidential elections that we have coming up, or those are the federal elections, those would be in a couple weeks' time, later this month. But really, in terms of Argentina, when you're dealing with permitting, you're dealing with just the provincial government. And so we're dealing exclusively with the government authorities in Salta. They recently had elections, and the governor, again, was reelected, very, very mining friendly. And so Salta is absolutely, the economy there is booming. And so from mining investment, we see no issues there whatsoever with advancing this project. Again, we're high up in the Puna district. This is not an area where there's any real communities nearby. I mean, the nearest community is about 150 kilometers away. They're there specifically for mining. And so, we look forward to continue to advance this project in a very timely fashion. The elections, of course, are causing a lot of headlines there. Federally, the government's certainly been left-leaning for the past several decades in Argentina. That seems to be changing. And so I think with the high inflation, the high spending that they've been experiencing here for the last couple of decades, it's really priced out a lot of the youth from the market, I'd say. And so you're seeing a significant change there. And so all of the presidential frontrunners at this stage are much more right-leaning, much more pro-business. And all of them have stated they're certainly supportive of mining, of agriculture, which are the major exports for the country. And so, we think Argentina continues to support mining for sure, especially in Salta, especially in San Juan, the two major mining provinces. And we don't see that changing at all. In fact, we see that improving as we look forward. Quickly, I think we have just 1 minute left here. Can you speak to the infrastructure needs at Diablilos? So here we're producing gold and silver doré. That's another key benefit of not producing from sulfides. When you produce in sulfides, you produce concentrate. There you would need rail, you would need to barge it out to a port, likely ship it off to Asia. I mean, here, because it's in oxides, it's cyanide leachable, and your final product that you produce at site is gold and silver bars. And so much, much less infrastructure intensive. I mean, you literally fly those out to refineries in Europe or wherever. And so, I think really when we announce the pre-feasibility study, it's going to be a minor amount of infrastructure that would be needed here. there's already we're drilling here 12 months per year. There's already a road access. And so we'll need power, of course. Additional power will be part of the pre-feasibility study. But aside from that, we have water availability, and the infrastructure is in excellent condition, especially with all these lithium producers have recently upgraded that as well. Just quickly, I think I'm over in terms of time. We just have one final question, the all-in sustaining cash cost on the project. So if you look back at the PA study that was done, it was assumed to be $12 an ounce silver. And so that will be updated, of course, with the pre-fees. But this is certainly a lowest cash quartile producing, just given the margins we have and the fact that it's open pittable in oxides. Excellent. So thanks very much, everyone. It was truly a pleasure. Look, if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to email me. My email address is john@abrasilver.com. Feel free to email me directly, and happy to take this offline and answer any other questions. Thank you very much.